Good evening and welcome to our My Salesian Passport Savio parent presentation regarding web preferences and subject selection. In this presentation, we'd like to clarify the essential aspects of the subject selection which the students will go through in the coming weeks. We'll touch on choosing the right level, acceleration, English and mathematics requirements, the web preferences program, the My Salesian Passport app, and the support available to students and families. To recap the Year 2 program, so for current Year 7 students moving into Year 8, they will complete English in both Semester 1 and Semester 2, Mathematics in both Semester 1 and Semester 2, an RE elective at some point in either Semester 1 or Semester 2, and they will also complete 7 My Salesian Passport elective subjects. For those students moving into Year 3 or Year 9, they will also complete English in both semesters, Mathematics in both semesters, and an RE subject in either Semester 1 or Semester 2. In Year 9, all students will participate in the Mazzarello Retreat program in either Semester 1 or Semester 2, and this program will comprise half of their curriculum time for that semester. They'll have a mix of time at retreat and English, maths, and other elective subjects. One of the really important aspects for My Salesian Passport and subject selection is around choosing the right level. And there are a number of factors that go into this. And we as a college are here to support the students and families in helping our young people make the right decisions. Some of the considerations are certainly academic performance and experience. So for the students, we want them to think about how have they been going, not only in a particular subject, but also more broadly across the board. What are their organisational skills like? What are their application towards homework and study like? And how likely are they to dedicate themselves to a higher level subject? If a student's looking to undertake a learning area for the first time, an explore level subject might be more appropriate than a engage or a focus level subject. Our explore level subjects are designed to be an entryway into the various learning areas, be they an arts area, robotics, languages, or materials. If a student has built expertise in an area through external or extracurricular learning, then they certainly may be ready for a more advanced level of study. We're very much aware that there are a number of students with extracurricular pursuits outside of school, such as music, dance, and sport, which may have them ready for those higher level subjects rather than the explore level. We want to assess their readiness and their motivation. So their motivation for advanced study, that work ethic, self-discipline, and a genuine interest in that learning area and those subjects. We also want to talk to the students about how this fits with their long-term goals and their longer-term planning for the program. It can be really easy just to focus on the next year, but we want to get the students and families to think about what does that long-term journey look like in the My Salesian Passport program, and how does some level of acceleration and subject choice fit into those longer-term goals for the students. So if we have a look at our arts program at the moment, and just coming back to maybe those students who've looked at high-level dance outside of school, they might be looking at a purple dance industry subject, maybe our red focus dance elites program, and working that these levels are more appropriate to their skills. Whereas a student who maybe has never done dance before but is interested in beginning that pathway, they can look at our blue level explore dance subjects as well. For English, all students in years 7 to 12 will complete an English subject all year. So this is everyone from our year 7s just beginning, right up through to all of our VCE and VM students in years 11 and 12. So given that English is the subject that moves progressively through and is covered off every year, whilst the students have that choice of the levels that they can choose, we want them to have that mindset of progressing through the levels towards our Orange VCE subjects by the time they reach their later years at the college. So in choosing their subjects, they should be completing at least one subject at or above their expected level to ensure that they're touching all of those colours on the way up through their learning journey. For those students who may need some literacy support, this will be offered to students through a specific intervention program, and that will work alongside the subjects that they choose for their English classes. In mathematics, again, students will complete mathematics from year 7 to 10 in both semester 1 and semester 2. For mathematics, we've tried to divide our subjects into some clear areas of learning, and we will see in the subject map that the number and algebra content is taught primarily in semester 1, and those other areas of maths such as geometry, stats, probability are covered off in semester 2. Our data suggests that students progress in number and algebra in quite a sequential way. So for most students, it will be a linear journey moving up through the various number and algebra subjects. Whereas in those other areas, those semester 2 subjects, that could be the area that students look to accelerate their maths if they're finding that they are very capable and keen to pursue that pathway. So we can see over on the left, we have our exploring numbers, algebra and graphing, exploring numbers and equations. These are our subjects which the majority of students will move through in a sequential order. It's over on the right-hand side where there may be the opportunity to accelerate upwards in these areas. In terms of their mathematics, whilst the college and the maths teachers may provide guidance to students as to which levels may be appropriate for them, ultimately the students and families will make the final selection. So with your young people, we can talk and have the conversation around their possible pathways, their academic ability, and what might be right for them. And ultimately it comes down to the family and students' choice as to which subjects they would like to undertake for maths. The vast majority of students should be progressing year by year through the MSP levels. And again, numeracy support will be offered to students through a specific intervention program for those students who may require that additional support. Acceleration. This has been a concept which in the past hasn't really been available for our younger students at the college. It's something that has primarily happened at year 10 onwards, but with My Salesian Passport and our new timetable structure, this is now an opportunity that's available to all students. And acceleration can look different depending on how students wish to undertake their learning. So the first way that students may accelerate is to complete 2 or more units from a subject area within a year. So still moving through all of the particular subjects, but undertaking them at an accelerated speed. So for example, a student who loves cooking and food tech may wish to undertake in their year 8 level, they may wish to undertake an explore food studies class and an engage food studies class. So in that second year, they're covering off their current level and a level above, with the view that the following year they could then look at those focus level subjects and move through the food studies curriculum at a faster speed, but still cover all the subjects. The other option is to look at skipping a level because of a demonstrated skill. And this might be where those students who completed extracurricular activities aligned with a particular subject or skill can come into that subject at a higher level because they've demonstrated the skills in previously. We want to support those students with high skills and an ability to undertake those higher level subjects and encourage them to accelerate. Something to keep in mind is that from 2025, the aim is that most students who are accelerating a VCE subject have completed a focus or reach subject in Year 9. So, for example, if a student was going to undertake VCE biology earlier than what would normally occur, the expectation would be that the previous year they've completed focus biology, which is a great preparation for that subject. Your advice and guidance is essential for these conversations with the students. So what is your child's current academic performance? Do they have the passion to make the required commitment to those higher level subjects? Listen to their reasoning and their explanations as to why they may wish to undertake a higher level subject. For some students, it might be that they feel they are better prepared for a higher level of a particular learning area. Others, it might be a case that there are so many of that next level subject that they wish to undertake that they need to bring some of those back down into a lower year level. It's really going to depend on the individual and their reasonings behind that. If students are completing a higher level subject, please consider how this fits within their broader curriculum map. So if they're choosing a higher level for Year 8, what does their Year 9 program look like? What could their Year 10 program look like? And how does this work up towards those VCE subjects? The My Salesian Passport app. So students will have seen this as part of their oratory program. There are links on our My Salesian Passport schoolbox page that the students have access to, and there are user guides in there as well for students. Your students will be able to invite you in as parents so that you can see the work they are doing in this space as well. The key page for our students using the My Salesian Passport app is this selections planning page. And this is really where they can map out what their 6 years at the college may look like in terms of the subjects that they wish to undertake. Students can complete multiple passport maps and save these and come back to them at different times and reflect on their choices and what changes they may wish to make. One of the really essential things is that students select their graduating year. This helps us with our planning and our student support to know which year level they are in. So for most of the current students, they're going to be around this 2027, 28 graduating years. When they're using this planner, they can search for subjects based on the level, for example, explore, and based on the learning area. So they may wish to look at explore level humanities subjects. And down the bottom here, it will come up with the options that fall into that category. Again, if they click on these, their little blurb appears, which is also in the subject handbook, and it tells them about that subject. If they decide that's something they wish to do, the students can then drag this across and enter them into their planner, and they can start to build up their subject map. Their oratory leaders, subject guidance through the careers team and the leaders in the college are able to refer to this and see what the students are thinking when they are planning their subject selections. Web Preferences is a program which many of the families will have used before. This is the way that you would have chosen elective subjects for your students coming into the college into Year 7. And for those Year 8 families, the students would have used it again to choose their elective choices for Year 8. And we will use this same program for our My Salesian Passport planning. In Web Preferences, this is where students will turn the plan into subject selections for 2024. So whilst they have a plan for hopefully multiple years, at this point, we get them to think about just next year and what does that look like. Students will have received an email link to Web Preferences, and it will take them to a page which looks like this. Hopefully this looks a little bit familiar. Once we are in Web Preferences, the students will select Add New Preferences. And it will bring them to this screen, and it will either say Subject Selection Year 8 2024 or Year 9 2024, depending on the current year level of the students. At the top, it runs through some information which we've touched on already in terms of the number of subjects from the different learning areas that students need to undertake. There is our deadline here of 4 p.m. on Monday, the 19th of June, and some processes to follow once they begin this activity. As we scroll down, it breaks our selections into, firstly, their RE, English and Maths options. So RE, for example, has preference 1. So the students would select the RE that they wish to do in that following year. And it also asks them to select a reserve option for RE. They may wish to do the other explore subject. It is the same for English. So the students will be asked which English subjects they wish to do in that following year. It may be coming of age and ghost stories, and it asks for some reserve subjects. And whilst we will endeavour to give the students the English and RE and Maths options which they have selected, it isn't always possible, hence the reserve choices. Maths again, we ask that they select their semester 1 option. So this is our exploring numbers and algebra subjects and our semester 2 options. At the bottom of the page is where the students will select their broader My Salesian Passport elective options. So this will include all of those other areas such as agriculture, arts, HPE, science, humanities, STEM, languages, etc. These are sorted firstly by the level, so explore, we scroll down, engage, focus, and secondly, sorted by learning areas, so agriculture, arts, dance, drama, English, through to science, STEM, etc. One of the really important parts with this part of the selection process is that the students place these in preference order. So the subject next year that they most want to do needs to go at the top of their list. So if robotics is the really key choice for your young person, that would go at the top of the program. Next might be an art subject, a PE, women's physical education, a science, the guts of it. These will be in the order which they most want to do them. Again, we ask the students to choose some reserve subjects. And whilst we will do our best to build a timetable which gets the most students the most of their elective choices, it is not always possible to give everyone all of the 7 choices that they may wish. So once we do this, firstly, the program will look at which subjects are higher up on the list. And if there is a choice between 2, it will put them into the subject which is higher on their list. And if for any reason we can't assign them to a class in their preferences, we will then use the reserve subjects to build their timetable. Once the students are happy with that, they will proceed, and there is a process to follow once they have selected their subjects. If there is a change of plan or a change of mind, the students can go back in and build another set of selections for their web preferences. Again, as long as it is in before the cutoff date, that is the important part. It is not a first in, best dressed. Whoever has their program in by the end of the 19th of June will have equal opportunity to be given the subjects that they have selected. So just a reminder, some really important things. The preference order of your choices is really important. Whilst we endeavour to give all students their preferences, it's not always possible. So please choose your reserve subjects carefully. One of the positives of our My Salesian Passport program is that if a student does not get a subject for any reason, or they may not choose a subject in a particular year, there is now the chance to go back and choose that subject the following year. So a student might have a career pathway shift in mindset and possible career options. They can go back and select maybe an explore or an engaged level subject that they missed the first time around. Where to from here? So some key dates in the next couple of weeks. Next Friday, or this Friday, the 9th of June, there are My Salesian Passport support interviews that are available to families and students. And there's been an EdSmart notification sent out to families last week. So if you follow the instructions there, you'll be able to book in an interview to support your students. Over the next 2 weeks, students will be having ongoing conversations with their oratory leaders around their plan and completing that web preferences process. And the big one at the end there, Monday, the 19th of June, is when our Savio web preference submissions are due.